Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Soulful Mamas podcast. You're with your host, Maria, and you are so welcome here. Thank you for joining me. Today, I'm going to have a little solo episode, so it's just you and me. Won't be too long, she says. No, it won't be too long. I just want to chat a little bit about that whole preparing and navigating the going back to school rhythm that we are soon to be back into. I think here in New Zealand, the kids have got a couple of weeks left of the school holidays, depending on uh, each individual school going back date is. And I'm not sure about you, but my gosh, these holidays have flown, like seriously flown. And I'm actually not ready for them to go back yet. I know that sounds a bit strange because you might be thinking, I can't wait. Um, Obviously, it goes up and down, but we've had quite a busy time, lots of time with family and friends and family staying, and it's all been amazing. But I feel like my kids have just started to settle into a their own holiday groove being at home. But, they've still got a few weeks of this left so they can enjoy that. And I know to allow them to enjoy that by not overfilling this last few weeks with activities and things to do. What they're showing me is that they just want to chill out a little bit. But what I find with this time is you are perhaps getting ready to go back to work, or you're already back at work, or partners back at work. There's that shift of gear into or from that real festive season, Christmas and New Year's and that, and then it's changing focus into, okay, back into the real world almost, and working and school and that type of thing. So I'm sure you know or remember that feeling of, it's almost like a feeling of dread, when you have to, something's about to end and change is coming, even if that change is wonderful and exciting and you want it, but there's still that little space of, I don't want to. And often that's the case when holidays finish and you have to go back to work, back to school, whatever that looks like. And we each express this in different ways. And you might notice over the next week or so your children changing a little bit, because it's their, unless they're expressing this and sharing it with you, it's their internal dialogue of they're starting to think about this new school year, whatever that looks like. Their friends, their teachers, some of them are changing schools, some of them have got friends that have left, thinking about new friends that possibly might join. There's a lot going on in their little minds that they may not be fully expressing to you, and it may not, it's just sort of low level thoughts. But as they compile, sometimes those thoughts can get a little bit overwhelming, and we see this in the way they are holding themselves. So it could be in behavior or actions that they do or don't do, tones of voice, different subtleties. Often it's quite subtle. And if you think about it, we as adults do this too. I know I do. When you're getting ready to go back into work, or when a holiday is coming to an end, you kind of, there's this feeling of, it's a melancholy type feeling of, oh, that's finished, and a not anxious feeling of what's coming, but almost it's like nervous excitement almost. And especially when you've got into this rhythm of being at home in holiday mode, and that looks like, going to bed a bit later, sleeping in, eating kind of when you're hungry, that rhythm that you need to hold during those school and work times are a bit more loose. And I find in order to support my children going back to school, I start to, how do you say, tighten bring them in, these rhythms that we have, re-establish them so they're not quite so loose in timing. So it might mean slowly going to bed a bit earlier each night, not by 2 hours, although they need to, because gosh, they're going to bed late at the moment. But it'll just be, you know, 10 minutes by 10 minutes type thing. Just slowly bring that down, or make the evenings slightly calmer, so not full of outward, barbecues and late night trips to the beach and that sort of thing, as exciting as they are. But in that last week, especially before school's back, just to really be mindful of, okay, I'm going to pay myself forward here and make that transition back into school. When I say school, I mean whatever it is that you do, if it's early childhood or whatever sort of childcare or homeschooling or work, whatever it is that you have a routine around, not that structure around timings. But I'm just using school in this instance. So yeah, just bringing it back in so that the kids can feel it too, like slowly preparing myself for a shift and a change. And it doesn't have to be a really big boom, like that's it. You're going to bed 2 hours earlier and you're waking up at 6 in the morning. It can be gradual. So to help them in that process, and to help you really, because let's face it, it's us that's guiding them, isn't it? It's easier if you start it a few weeks out or a week out. Just really be mindful of, the mornings, the bedtimes, and maybe have a little bit more rhythm and routine around eating, so that there's that feeling of, okay, breakfast or lunch, that type of thing. They're a bit more held in that. Otherwise, they'll go back to their school environment, which is very rigid, and it's this time and then this time and then this time, and there's no fluidity in that. So to support them in that, slowly bring that, especially the younger your children are, the more essential really that this is, because children, we're all held by rhythm and we require these rhythms. I'm going to do another episode specifically on rhythm soon, but in a nutshell, it's the flow of the day with these certain events or activities that take place in order to keep the day flowing and the people, your family, moving within that. So yeah, I just wanted to share that suggestion, perhaps, of start thinking about it now. And if you don't need to really outwardly say too much, you're going to school in 2 weeks, because that's just going to create possibly a little bit of anxiety and overwhelm, because your children are still fully in the moment of, I'm on holiday, I'm having fun. Our New Zealand summer's been pretty good compared to last summer, hasn't it? So we've had sun and it's been hot, and so lots of water activities, lots of swimming, and that's where they are, and that's in their minds where they want to be. So rather than outwardly speaking all the time, we can just make these subtle shifts ourselves. So even if it means bedtime's 10, 15 minutes earlier, and just slowly bring it back in. So by the time, the 1st of February, if that's the date you start back, comes around, it's kind of easy. It's a natural thing. And then you can start slowly talking about it a little bit more, i.e., maybe certain school books that you need to go shopping for, or you need a new sun hat, and you can make it fun, not with a strict list. Okay, we've got to get these things because school's starting back, and it just has the energy of rushing already. And I don't know how it is for you, but it can feel like that some days, that rushing in your mind. You're desperately not wanting to be in that rush mode, but you can't help it sometimes. And that's kind of what the school term looks like, the mornings and the afternoons. You're bound by schedules and times, and there is this rushing feeling, which isn't nice, and they are completely out of that right now. So we need to slowly bring them back in, and it's not just for them, it's for you as well, because we as the parent, we wear the captain's hat. We steer that ship. We are guiding them, and they're looking to us for that guidance. And if we don't provide it, then they will come quite eagerly up and try and take that little hat from you and say, how about we do it this way? So to pay yourself forward, start now. Start thinking about little simple shifts that you can make to start to make that beginning of term 1 go as smooth as possible. And it will help you, it will help your children, help everyone in the household, really, just to have a nice, smooth, joyful, happy entry into however term 1 looks for you and your household. So let me know how you get on. This is an area that I spend a lot of time in helping and supporting parents. So if you do need some ideas or just a bit of encouragement or support, please do reach out. My email's in the show notes, and I'm on Facebook and Instagram under Parenting with Soul. So yeah, please do reach out. Let me know how you're getting on. And if this episode resonates and you think it might help another one of your fellow mama friends, please do share it with them. And yeah, if you can subscribe and rate and all of those things, it does help boost that little algorithm, so more people, it's easier to find. Otherwise it gets lost in the podcasting space. So yeah, I really appreciate you doing that, and I appreciate you, and I am wishing you a really happy, beautiful, soul-filling last few weeks of the holidays. And I'm sure that the start of that next stage will go smooth and well for you. So much love, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.